What holds you back? What holds you back? Were you a better man today than you were yesterday? Did you give more today than you did yesterday? And whether it lasted a whole year, a quarter, 6 months, or a handful of weeks, each and every single one of you, you've performed at your highest level. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So the question I have is, when you were operating at that level, were you living to a standard, or were you making decisions based upon your feelings? Because based upon your feelings, now this is no knock on anybody who's going to listen to music and eat dessert later, but just follow me, okay? Feelings means, ooh, that chocolate cake looks good. I'm going to eat that chocolate cake. And I'm going to eat that chocolate cake. I want you guys to enjoy yourselves. We're celebrating tonight, okay? I don't eat chocolate cake either. I'll have some for you later, okay? But do you say, I'm going to eat chocolate cake every single day because it makes me feel so good? Or you say, you know what? Yesterday I had a really good workout, and today I'm supposed to work out, but I'm not going to work out because these sheets feel so cozy right now. Or you say, you know what? Yesterday was such a great day. The calendar was so packed. The calendar was so packed, and I actually brought in some brand new business. Today I'm not going to do anything. That's when we live to our feelings rather than a standard. Where the standard says, I'm willing to break down the game film of my career to understand what it looks like for me to be successful on a daily basis. And once we identify what it looks like to be successful on a daily basis, we understand the standard that is giving you the opportunity to be in a chair in this room. Why does it take hearing a story like mine? My mom coming to the dinner to put it into perspective, to say, gosh, it's 11 days before his 8th birthday, he hardly had any time with his mother. Gosh, I gotta love more. I got to give more. I got to serve more. I got to embrace every day. Why does it take that? Think about your perspective, your tough stuff you've been through in your life. How often do you connect to your belief and your fire? All I'm asking, I'm not really asking a lot. I'm saying connect to what drives you. I'm not saying connect to what drove Kobe Bryant. Connect to what drove my mother to do what she did to get to that dinner table. Connect to what drives me. I'm just saying connect to what drives, not Claudio, connect to what drives you. A lot of times I talk about underperformers to paint an example, but there's no underperformers here. I'm going to briefly go over this. I'm going to tell you why the highest performers achieve at the highest possible level. Okay? An underperformer, they hear an opportunity to connect to their belief, their burn, what drives them, the next chapters of their life. They don't want any part of it. They'd rather get in their own way in moving forward than understand that they have control in how they think, how they show up, and how they work every single day. They lack belief. Now, somebody who lacks belief, is that person likely to say, I'm going to go grab some extra potential today? Duran, roll through this with me. So if somebody's not connecting to their belief, how likely is that person to say, I'm going to go take some extra today? It's not happening. So then, if they're not connecting to their belief, they're not tapping to their potential, what is their action going to look like on a daily basis? Slacking, sluggish, and then what are their results? Zero or piss poor. I like piss poor. That's a good answer. Because it's probably not zero. I mean, there's going to be something there, but it's probably not going to be very good. And then what do those people say? Oh, world's against me. Yep, God's against me again. You see that weather report? Josh, the weather man, you wouldn't believe it. And the world is against me, the world is against me, the world is against me. It's just, I don't. What happens to the individual who wakes up every single day and they tap into that belief? Because the real test comes when things don't go your way, and are you prepared for the moment? How important is belief, that burn, your real motivation? Somebody underperforming, we're not talking about Claudio. Maybe think about somebody on your team, somebody that you engage with, somebody that you work with. Maybe there have been periods of time where maybe this was you. Remember, I said I got 2 coaches. There are periods of time it's me too. Sometimes we struggle in our belief. If we or somebody we're working with, we know that they're not connecting to their belief consistently enough, how likely is that individual to say, I'm going to go grab some extra potential today? It's not going to happen. So if somebody's not connecting to their belief, they're not tapping into that potential, what does that person's action look like on a daily basis? they're going to do less than they know they need to do. Everybody knows what their answer, you know what it is that you need to do. You can be a 10. 9.9, 9.8, 9.5, stuff happens. But, get as close, 9.5, 9, we can get there. What do your results look like? If you're not believing in yourself, you're not grabbing some of that extra potential, you're not taking the necessary action, Rob, what do our results look like? They're not very good. And then here's what happens. World is against me. You ever hear somebody say that? Right? Rather than looking in the tough mirror of accountability, driving personal accountability. Well, the world is against me. I got the tough project. I was sent here. This is the tough project. So-and-so got the easy project. That's the easy project. I got the tough one. I always get the tough one. It's the self-evaluation where at some point in time we say, I'm tired of it. I've been there. I'm tired of it. It's me. What part of what's going on is actually how I'm choosing to show up? Think about your perspective, your tough stuff you've been through in your life. How often do you connect to your belief and your fire? All I'm asking, I'm not really asking a lot, I'm saying connect to what drives you. I'm not saying connect to what drove Kobe Bryant, connect to what drove my mother to do what she did to get to that dinner table. Connect to what drives me. I'm just saying connect to what drives you. Because when you do that, what ends up happening is you wake up and you say, I'm gonna tap into a little extra potential. I'm gonna go take a little extra today. You know what I'm talking about. We've all been there. We've had those days where you're feeling good, you're believing in yourself. Typically, it's when the project is going good. Why does it have to be that way? If it's all the time, then maybe some of these projects where we're having some of the challenges, not that we eliminate the challenges, maybe the challenges won't be so bad because we see it with a different lens. Don't allow your feelings to dictate how you show up and dominate that standard. Execute as a team and always be ready for your moment. But when you execute in your moment, recognize for us all to win and to hit these goals, it can't be just about us. It's got to be about the team. Remember, our performance, it's not just we're really great at what we do. It's coupling this mental toughness side. It's our thinking. It's how we choose to show up. It's evaluating that standard. It's connecting to that burn consistently. It's being honest with ourselves about what it means to show up and be our best. Remember, that's what I believe winning is. I just want each and every single one of you to be able to look in the mirror at the end of every day and say, today I gave it my very best. How much more can you give? How bad do you really want it? Remember, I shared these words earlier. Everybody wants to talk about legacy, how bad they want it, just like those players who would go up to Kobe, tell Kobe how hard they worked. But when I have a conversation with your action, that's when we find out the real story. So I'm sitting in that chair and we're talking about standard over feelings, right? And I say, don't allow your feelings to dictate how you show up. Which means if we win a game on Saturday, that can't dictate the film that you need to break down on Sunday because of the mistakes that you made on Saturday. Doesn't mean that I don't enjoy a victory, but it means I'm not going to allow my feelings to dictate how I show up. And in the event that you don't get what you want on the field or in your life, you cannot throw in a day just because somebody tells you in the news or your competition that you're not good enough. Because when I tell you that every single one of your tomorrows has an opportunity for you to connect to your self-esteem through your burn and the reason why you want to do it, why would you not do it that next day? Don't allow your feelings to dictate how you show up. We have to understand that this is where we drive our greatness, by having standards in our life. In everything that you do, because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. You got to look yourself in the mirror and be honest and say, what can I improve tomorrow based upon my performance today? I got distracted because of X, Y, and Z, and as a result of that distraction, I fell short of what I said I was going to do. I won't allow those distractions to take place tomorrow. And then you follow through and do what you said you were going to do. We've all at some point in time, you've been seduced by success. The most successful individuals do not allow their feelings to dictate how they show up. They show up and live to the standard one day at a time. And they connect to their belief, they connect to their potential, they do the action, they get the results over and over and over, and they're not seduced by success. We've all at some point in time, you've been seduced by success. I just had the biggest week ever. We had all these bids, more bids were accepted, we collected more than we ever have. This is the greatest week in the history of the company. Probably happened for all of you at some point in time. How do you respond when that happens? You know what a lot of people do? I'm going on vacation. Was that a planned vacation? Because if that's a planned vacation, I'm all for it. I take plenty of time off with my family, trust me. My family is the most important thing to me. So I schedule my vacation. I take a lot of time off to be with my family. But why would you schedule a vacation because you did what you were supposed to do? We've all done it. I want you to not think about having focus in your life, because I believe focus is not enough. If you really want to take it to the next level and drive continual peak performance, you have to have intentional focus. That means you have to find your edge in the details. You have to find what matters. And you have to get serious about what matters, and you have to change how you think, and you have to change the decisions that you make with great discipline and intentional focus. There's a burn that lies inside of you, and you don't need to act crazy like me. But you got to let that fire fuel you to be you. And if I'm asking too much of you to wake up every single day and drive intentional focus to the real fire inside of you, come on now. How easy is it to do that? And to understand that when you connect to the burn is what ignites your why and purpose. I'm not saying why and purpose are not important. Don't get my words twisted. What I'm saying is, once you connect to the burn, that is what actually ignites the why and purpose and causes you to show up on the days that you don't want to do it, and especially after you win.